Good evening, everyone. So today we are going to discuss about GSTR 9 and 9C. So what is 9 and 9C? How many of you have already filed? Not this year, earlier years. Almost all. And this year? Not at all. So what is the due date? 31st December. So मुझे केतन सैया ने फ़ोन किया था कि ये सेशन लेना है, तो ही सेड सर आपका नॉलेज थोड़ा कम है and our participants are very intelligent enough, so if you can come here to learn something. So I am here to learn something from all of you, because I am not going to discuss something rocket science or something very new. Already 7 हमने फाइल किए हैं 99C. Yes or no? Continuously last 7 years we are doing it. And we all know what are the challenges, what are the issues, and how to file the same. Yes or no? So we all know that GSTR 9 is nothing but an annual return. But again, before I start, I request if you can come in front, so we can have a discussion instead of a presentation. So it will be easier to discuss one-to-one. Yeah. So GSTR 9 is an annual return. And we all know that who are the person required to file and who are person not required to file. So I am not going to deliberate on the same. And we also know that if all the GSTR 1 and 3B up to March 2025 is filed, then only this will open, otherwise Form 9 will not open. Correct? So ऐसी पॉसिबिलिटी है कि लोगों ने अभी तक 9 और ये 1 और 3 भी फाइल नहीं किया होगा मार्च का. इज देयर एनी पॉसिबिलिटी? कैसे? So if you are not filing your 1 and 3B continuously for a period of 3 months, so अपने आप आपका ब्लॉक हो गया, your registration has been cancelled, तो वो possibility, your number is active and still you are not able to file, this possibility is not there. So that also we should keep in mind. Time limit already we discussed, 31st March 2025. And if you are not filing, what is the late fees? Up to 5 crore rupees 50 per day, or 0.24% of the turnover in the state. 5 to 20 crore 100 rupees per day, or more than 20 crore it will be 200 rupees per day. So if you go into the act says still 200 rupees per day, correct? But to give the benefit to small taxpayer, they have issued a notification in the year 23 and give this lower benefit to the smaller SSC. So what if the GSTR 9 annual return is filed up to 31st March, but 9C is not filed, where it is required to be filed? Then what will happen? Late fees applicable, not applicable? Applicable, but late fees is prescribed only for the annual return. Why so, sir? Yes, sir. Can we have a mic, Mishra ji?
It is clarified by the ICI, it is clarified by the circular if we have filed 99, but still we have not filed 9C, then also we will, then also there will be late fee.
Okay. So what will happen for earlier years? Since this is a clarification, interpretation of a law, so it will be applicable for earlier years also if happened so. So this is the circular number 246/03/2025, which says that the late fees is levied for delay in furnishing of complete annual return. And they say 9C is nothing but a part of the annual return. So unless you file 9C, your annual return is not completely filed. So suppose if you file GSTR 9 on 25th December, but 9C if you are filing on 7th January, then 7 days late fees will be applicable. Another scenario, 9 you are filing on 5th of January and 9C you are filing on 7th January. Then while filing annual return, you have to file a late fees for 5 days. And then further 2 days, not for 7 days for 9C. So this is how it's going to work. We all know that GSTR 1 and 3B, all the data are auto-populated, most of the data. And if there is a variance of 20% plus or minus, then field will become red in color. If you are sure that your data is correct, then you can proceed. It is not a showstopper, but it is just giving you a warning. System also auto-populates now. ITC based on your GSTR 2B, not 2A. Earlier in the earlier years, it was based on your GSTR 2A. Again, if you go to the Act, it says all the SECs are required to file annual return. Correct? By way of a notification, they have said to give the benefit to the small taxpayer, they said that less than 2 crore annual return is not required to be filed. It means GSTR 9 is optional. They are not saying not required to be filed, it says option to file return. 2 to 5 crore, 9 is mandatory, 9C is not required. And above 5 crore, both are required to be filed. So everywhere we are seeing then whenever they are giving a penalty or maybe a late fees, maybe or filing options, then aggregate turnover. What is aggregate turnover? We will see little bit later. But again, as Pinky Madam has said that if your SSC's turnover is less than 2 crore, whether you should file annual return or not. Yes. फाइल करना है नहीं करना चाहिए. I am holding a view that even if it is optional, it is in the interest of the SSC that he should do that reconciliation. Otherwise क्या होता है, आप reconciliation कभी करते नहीं हो. And reconciliation आप कब करोगे? जब आपका GST डिपार्टमेंटल ऑडिट आएगा या इंक्वायरी आएगी. And at that point of time, you will require to pay that amount if something has been left out along with interest and heavy penalty. And penalty will be of fraud, suppression, etc. will be leviable. But if you pay suo moto, then penalty will be waived off. So it is in the interest of the SSC that even if it is less than 2 crore, you should file a annual return. So at least इस बहाने आपका रिको पूरा तैयार हो जाता है. Now what is aggregate turnover? Aggregate turnover has been defined in section 2 subsection 6, saying that aggregate value of all taxable supplies. What is taxable supplies? No idea? Supplies on which you are paying tax is a taxable supplies. Excluding the value of inward supplies on which tax is payable by a person on reverse charge basis. What is the meaning of this? Wherever recipient is liable to pay GST under RCM, take example in case of a GTA. So for me it is my outward supply and it is a taxable supply also, but it will not form part of my aggregate turnover. For calculating the limit, whatever we are discussing, 2 crore, 5 crore, 20 crore, whatever. And it also include exempt supplies. What is exempt supplies? On which you are not paying GST or which are exempted by a specific notification or anything. It also include export of goods or services or both. Why goods or services or both? It's a taxable supply, but you are not paying tax because you have an option. Either you can clear the export with payment of tax or without payment of tax. Even if you are clearing without payment of tax, even though then it will remain as a taxable supplies. Interstate supply of person having the same permanent account number to be computed on all India basis. What is the meaning of this? So अगर मेरी 4 ब्रांचेज हैं, चारों का एग्रीगेट टर्नओवर मुझे देखना है, 2 करोड़ या 5 करोड़ एज द केस में भी, बट इट विल एक्सक्लूड GST. Correct? Clear in this? So take an example, Maharashtra, suppose I am having a turnover of 1.75 crore. Gujarat 1.5 crore, Tamil Nadu 1.25 crore, Uttarakhand 1 crore, and Delhi nil. If I make a total comes to 5.5 crore. But 75 lakh turnover is inter-branch transfer between Maharashtra and Gujarat. So once I will prepare my P&L, what will be my turnover? 4.75. But as far as GST is concerned, I am paying tax on 5.5 crore. So 9C file करना है, because all India basis we have to see. Then whether I have to file the 9 and 9C of Delhi also? Yes. Even if it is nil, then also it is mandatorily required to be filed. Correct? So now we come, what is aggregate turnover? How we will calculate the aggregate turnover in case of a dealer of second hand goods? नौ करोड़ की सेकेंड हैंड गाड़ी खरीदी और मैंने 10 करोड़ में बेच दी. No opening stock, no closing stock. 9(9)C is required to be filed. Yes or no? Yes? Why? Because rule prescribe that I can pay, if I am a dealer of second hand goods, I can pay tax on the differential of sale and purchase. Correct? So what is my outward supply? Outward taxable supply is 10 crore or 1 crore? 1 crore. And if you go to aggregate turnover, it says taxable supply or exempt supply. 9 crore is not exempt supply. Correct? So I am not required to file 9 and 9C both. So this is the way you have to calculate your aggregate turnover. So aggregate turnover calculate करने के लिए खाली आपको P&L नहीं देखना है. Correct? What you have to see your return also. Air travel agent. Alternative mechanism है. Life insurance. Forex dealer. Correct? Then I am a custom house agent. My agency fees what I have collected during the year is 1.5 5 crore. And what I collected from my supplier 10 crore rupees as a pure agent. Then क्या करना है? Because it is not forming part of my supply, pure agent. Neither taxable supply nor exempt supply. It is not a supply at all. It's not forming part of, neither forming part of 1 or 3B also. Correct? This figure are not required to be disclosed anywhere. So, my turnover, aggregate turnover will remain as 1.5 crore. Sale of capital goods. How you will calculate? Whatever capital goods I am selling will not form part of my P&L. Only the difference will come. Correct? दो पॉसिबिलिटी है. जो कैपिटल गुड्स मैंने लिया है उसका जीएसटी क्रेडिट भी लिया है या उसका जीएसटी क्रेडिट नहीं लिया है. टेक एन एग्जांपल ऑफ अ मोटर कार विच इज अ ब्लॉक क्रेडिट 17.5. I will not take the credit. Law says that in that scenario you are liable to pay GST difference between sale price and WDV as per Income Tax Act. 4 लाख रुपए की गाड़ी बेची, WDV 4.25 लाख था. सो क्या होगा? My value of supply is 0. करेक्ट? ये 375 होता तो 25 पे मैं टैक्स भरता तो हमारा एग्रीगेट वैल्यू में कितना आता? 25. करेक्ट? सेकेंड सिनेरियो, अदर देन मोटर कार, वॉट एवर कैपिटल गुड्स आई एम बाइंग, उसके सबके ऊपर मैंने क्रेडिट ले लिया. इन दैट अगेन यू हैव अ टू बकेट्स, आई कैन से. You disposed of within 5 years or you disposed of after 5 years. What is the difference in both the scenario? क्या difference है? Yes? What is the difference? अगर आपने within 5 years dispose of किया है, so 5% per quarter के हिसाब से आपको रिडक्शन लेना है. आई होप एवरीबडी इज अवेयर अबाउट दिस लॉ. करेक्ट? सो आपने भले ही कितने में भी बेचा हो, जितने वैल्यू पे आपने टैक्स भरा है वो वैल्यू विल गो इन एग्रीगेट टर्नओवर. अगर 5 साल के ऊपर है तो वॉट एवर मे बी द सेल वैल्यू, P&L में अपियर ओनली डिफरेंस, बट एग्रीगेट टर्नओवर इन केस ऑफ कैपिटल गुड्स. तो वेन एवर यू सी दिस काइंड ऑफ एंट्रीज इन P&L, then you have to see on which we have paid the tax. So only the profit and loss account or only the GSTR 1 or 3B will not give you a correct picture unless you look together. Clear? Interest on loan, exempt supply will form part of aggregate turnover. Bad debts recovery, क्या अशोक सर बैड डेट्स रिकवरी पे तो इनकम टैक्स भर देते हैं, फॉर्मिंग पार्ट ऑफ योर P&L. करेक्ट? सर बैड डेट्स तो मैंने जो था मैंने राइट ऑफ कर दिया और फिर जब मेरा रिकवरी हो गया देन व्हाट यू विल डू? नॉट पार्ट ऑफ टर्नओवर बिकॉज जीएसटी इज नॉट लेविएबल ऑन दैट. करेक्ट? क्योंकि ऑलरेडी जीएसटी तो मैंने जब एक्चुअल सप्लाई किया था तभी पे कर चुका हूँ. सो विल नॉट फॉर्म पार्ट ऑफ माई टर्नओवर. कैपिटल सब्सिडी फ्रॉम गवर्नमेंट, अगेन इफ यू गो टू सेक्शन 15 इट सेज विल नॉट फॉर्म पार्ट ऑफ योर वैल्यू. लिक्विडेटेड डैमेजेस, अगेन दे हैव इशूड अ सर्कुलर एंड से दैट लिक्विडेटेड डैमेज इज नॉट अ सप्लाई एट ऑल. नोटिस पे रिकवरी फ्रॉम एम्प्लॉय, नॉट फॉर्मिंग पार्ट ऑफ सप्लाई. एडवांस रिसीव फॉर गुड्स टू बी सप्लाइड. Yes, sir? So no GST is leviable on this, will not form. But in case of services, it will firm. Share of profit from firm. अशोक सर का पार्टनरशिप फर्म है, उससे प्रॉफिट आ गया, एंड ही इज डूइंग अनदर टैक्सेबल सप्लाई ऑल्सो ऑफ 4 करोड़, एंड फर्म से इनको 1.5 करोड़ आ गया. सो क्या करना पड़ेगा? 9C भरना है? नहीं, बिकॉज शेयर ऑफ प्रॉफिट अगेन इट इज नॉट अ सप्लाई. शेयर ट्रेडिंग, हाई सीज sales, bond transfer, out and out sales, sale of land, schedule 3 item, neither supply of good nor supply of service, remuneration to non-executive director will form part of taxable supply. Correct? भले ही आरसीएम में कंपनी भर रही है, लेकिन डायरेक्टर के लिए तो वो सप्लाई है. So likewise you have to, each and every item you have to see. Now next is, what is your primary data? कहाँ से आपको शुरुआत करनी है? Because you have a different, it may be possible that you have a different data in GSTR 1, 3B and P&L, books of accounts, correct? And this 3 data will never match, or match हो जाएगा? नहीं, मैच किए बिना फाइनल नहीं करेंगे. वही तो एक्सरसाइज करना है कि ये तीनों को मैच करना है. इसका मतलब ये मैच है ही नहीं ना, करेक्ट? तो शुरुआत कहाँ से करेंगे? कौन सा डेटा पकड़ना है सबसे पहले? किसको बेस लेना है? बुक्स को, 1 को, 3B को? 1 को, बुक्स को. अगेन मेरे पास एक डेटा है 23-24 का, एक डेटा है 24-25 का, एक डेटा है 25-26 का. 23-24 का कुछ सप्लाई या कुछ आईटीसी मैंने 24-25 में ले लिया, आउटवर्ड सप्लाई और मे बी इनवर्ड सप्लाई. सेम वे 24-25 का 25-26 में भी ले लिया. सो अभी मेरे पास कितने डेटा हो गए? 3 into 3, 9 डेटाज हो गए. रिकन्सिलेशन हम क्या कर रहे हैं? 24-25. सो हमको सबको रिकन्साइल करके 24-25 पे लाना है. 23-24 का जो 24-25 में ले लिया है उसको निकालना है बाहर, और 24-25 का जो 25-26 में ले लिया है उसको अपने को इसमें ऐड करना है. तभी जाके मेरा ये प्रॉपर रिकन्सिलेशन होगा. करेक्ट? नाउ विल कम टू GSTR 9. 1, 2, 3 जो टेबल है, बेसिक डेटा है, आई एम नॉट गोइंग इनटू दैट. टेबल 4 इज, what is this talking about? What data they are asking is details of advances, inwards and outward supplies made during the financial year on which tax is payable. So basically it's talk about the taxable supplies, and in taxable supplies also on which tax is payable. So any taxable supplies on which tax is not payable will not form part of table 4. Exempt supply definitely will not form part of table 4. Correct? So first start with supplies made to unregistered person, B2C supplies. And ये data आपका उठाएगा GSTR 1 से. Correct? 1, और उसके अलावा एक डेटा आपने 1A में भी दिया होगा. What is GSTR 1A? Amendment. Correct? So लास्ट ईयर तक वो खाली 1 का डेटा उठा रहा था, बट दिस टाइम इट विल fetch the data of 1A also. So it will be easier for us. So that is the first difference, is that it is merging both the datas. And again, liability neither disclosed in GSTR 1 nor in GSTR 3B of 23-24 और 24-25 जो आपने डिस्क्लोज नहीं किया, 24-25 का भी आपने डिस्क्लोज नहीं किया अप टू अक्टूबर, then also that data will form part of this table. Correct? So primarily it is taking data of only one, but again बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट से यहीं पे रिकनसाइल करके हमको वो डेटा यहाँ पे ले लेना है. सेम वे देन सप्लाई इज मेड टू रजिस्टर्ड पर्सन, अगेन आई एम नॉट गोइंग इन टू दैट. देन जीरो रेटेड सप्लाई एक्सपोर्ट ऑन पेमेंट ऑफ टैक्स एक्सेप्ट सप्लाईज टू SEZ. सो अगेन जीरो रेटेड सप्लाई में वी हैव अ 4 buckets. Export with payment of tax, export without payment of tax, and supplies to SEZ with payment of tax, without payment of tax. Correct? इन 4 में से यहाँ पे सिर्फ 2 ही चीज़ें आएंगी, export with payment of tax and supplies to SEZ with payment of tax. Why without payment of tax will not come here? Yes, because if you see the heading, it says on which tax is payable. Because without payment of tax, tax is not payable. That's why it will not form part of your table 4. Then deemed export. Then advances on which tax has been paid but invoice has not been issued. So इसमें भी जो goods का advance आया है, that data we will not catch. Only the services and which are not invoice is not raised till 31st March. So suppose if we received any advance in the month of April, for which invoice has been raised in the month of July 24. So automatically invoice में आ गया है, तो again यहाँ पे लेने का हमको ज़रूरत नहीं है. So only the advances in respect of supply of services which has been received, for which invoice has not been raised till 31st March, only that data will come. Then inward supplies on which tax is to be paid on reverse charge basis. So suppose if I am taking a services of maybe lawyer, maybe a GTA, on which under RCM I am liable to pay, will come here. Because it is my outward supply. Correct? बराबर है ना? It is my outward supply. That's why it will form part of this table. And this G1 is supplies which e-commerce is on which e-commerce operator is required to pay tax as per section 9(5). So this e-commerce operator will disclose this data here. तो इसमें क्या आएगा? रितेश का मन नहीं किया घर पे खाना बनाने का, बिकॉज उसको खाना बनाना पड़ता है घर जाके. सो वो क्या करेगा? स्विगी या जोमैटो से मंगाएगा. करेक्ट? दे आर ई कॉमर्स ऑपरेटर, दे डू नॉट हैव एनी क्लाउड किचन एनीथिंग. करेक्ट? बट ऑन विच हु इज लायबल टू पे GST? रेस्टोरेंट और स्विगी? आई एम नॉट प्रमोटिंग एनी portal here. Correct? So which will not form part of their turnover at all, because उसका turnover नहीं है. जो रेस्टोरेंट से वो सामान ले रहा है या खाना ले रहा है, उसके ऊपर he is liable to pay GST, but it is not their revenue. Their revenue is only the margin or commission or delivery charges, whatever they are taking, on which they are paying tax. तो वो तो ऑलरेडी 4(2) में आ जाएगा मेरा, टेबल 4B में. करेक्ट? सो ये भी फिगर मेरा यहाँ पे आ जाएगा. देन ओनली इट विल रिकनसाइल विद माई 1 ना. सेम वे देन क्रेडिट नोट एक्सेट्रा, आई एम नॉट गोइंग इन टू डिटेल बिकॉज दैट यू हैव टू एड और लेस. एंड अगेन रिवर्स चार्ज में दे हैव इशूड अ प्रेस रिलीज. प्रेस रिलीज इज बाइंडिंग ऑन no one. But as of now, department is accepting this press release. So it says that in case of reverse charge, in the year in which you are making payment, in that annual return you have to disclose the same. So अगर मैंने 20-21 का जो RCM पेमेंट मुझे करना था और मैंने 24-25 में किया, so it will not go in 2021, it will go in my annual return of 24-25. That is what this press release is talking about. So except this, बाकी सारा डेटा मेरा 24-25 का ही आएगा. खाली आरसीएम का जो रिवर्स चार्ज में पेमेंट जिस साल में किया है वही एक एक्सेप्शन है. आई होप you all are clear. Then table 5 is details of outward supplies made during the financial year on which tax is not payable. So it's not talking about taxable supply or exempt supply. If you compare table 4, table 5, दोनों में कहीं पे भी taxable supply नहीं बोलता है. Correct? That's why starting with table 5A or B, if you see that supplies to SEZ without payment of tax, even though it is a taxable supply, will form part of table 5. Supplies on which tax is to be paid by recipient on reverse charge basis. So suppose I am a GTA, correct? On which my recipient are liable to pay GST, but मेरे PNL में तो ये फिगर आने वाला है और GSTR 1 में भी ये फिगर आने वाला है, because I have to disclose there that under RCM recipient will liable to pay. Yes or no? So ये फिगर भी यहाँ पे आ जाएगा, even though it is a taxable supply, but will form part of table 5, not 4. Then supplies on which tax is to be paid by e-commerce operator. तो यहाँ पे क्या आएगा? जो रेस्टोरेंट ने सेल किया through a delivery app, correct? So it is not an exempt supply, correct? No. Then exempted supply, nil rated supply, non-GST supply. What is non-GST supply? Is again liquor and petrol. Not schedule 3. Then again credit note, debit note, etc. will come. So this is already I covered that. This time they will cover not only GSTR 1 data, but they will also cover GSTR 1A data also. So it will give you a correct picture. Now coming to input tax credit. So input tax credit, this table 6A will auto-populate data from table 4A of GSTR 3B of financial year 24-25, and it is freezed. This is the only table which is freezed. बाकी सब table आप change कर सकते हो, correct? So 24-25 में जो 3B में मैंने claim किया उसमें related to 24-25 होगा, and it will also contain related to 23-24 also up to October 24. Yes or no? So now they have inserted a new table 1A, and which says that the ITC of financial year 23-24 which you have availed in 24-25 up to October 25 has to be disclosed here. So suppose आपने 5 लाख claim किया और 25,000 रुपया आपका 23-24 से related था. So automatically it will minus and it will come to 475. Last year तक हमको ये challenge आता था because we can't be able to reconcile that because it will fetch 5 lakh, but 5 lakh से मेरा reconciliation नहीं होता है. Then it will go to 9C only. So the SSC is up to 5 crore. I am facing that challenge, but now it will be reconciled here only. Clear? बाकी सब as it is same है. Inward supplies other than import, again input and input services you can disclose the same in a common table, but capital goods you have to disclose separately. So again you have to have this two kinds of data separately. Again table 6C is inward supplies received from unregistered person liable to reverse charge. What will come here? I am taking a services of any lawyer who is not registered. So in that case I am required to issue self invoice, correct? So वो data यहाँ पे आएगा. And in case of 6D, I am taking a services of GTA which is already registered. So he will issue tax invoice and disclose that liable to be paid by the recipient of service. So that data will come here. How to capture that data? कैसे लेंगे ये डेटा? उससे ही लेना पड़ेगा. एंड यू कैंट गो पार्टी वाइज ऑल्सो बिकॉज इट मे बी पॉसिबल दैट कोई GTA सितंबर के बाद रजिस्टर हो गया. सो एक साल में हमारे को ये भी प्रॉब्लम आया था. सो वेरी डिफिकल्ट टू गेट डेटा. सो ओनली 1 और 2B जो है उसके बेसिस पे ही यू कैन बी एबल टू गेट दिस डेटा. So it is not required to be disclosed separately till 2021, but 21-22 onwards they have made it mandatory to disclose this separately, because that time they have issued one circular saying that RCM कोई भी साल का होने दो, जिस साल में आप पे करोगे, if you received from unregistered dealer, because self invoicing is required, so in that year you will get the credit. I hope you are aware about this provision. So 2021 के पहले ये provision क्लैरिटी नहीं थी. देन इम्पोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स, बिकॉज इम्पोर्ट ऑफ गुड्स का डेटा आपका आइस गेट से आता है, तो वो एक सेपरेटली आ जाता है. सो अगेन आई थिंक एवरीबडी इज नोइंग अबाउट ऑल दिस टेबल्स. आई एम नॉट गोइंग इन टू डिटेल. वाई दे आर स्टिल आस्किंग फॉर अ ट्रांजिशनल क्रेडिट आई डोंट नो, एंड हु इज गोइंग टू गेट स्टिल आई डोंट नो, बट इट इज स्टिल देयर. दे हैव नॉट रिमूव्ड दिस. सो कंटिन्यू विद दिस. Then in case of merger, demerger, sale, etc., that data will come in your 6M. 7, you will give the details of ITC reversed on ineligible ITC for the financial year. So different table में different items पूछता है, but common भी आप एक साथ में disclose कर सकते हो. But I still recommend that in this scenario better to disclose figure, even though the option is there, but disclose in each table separately. Because when the audit will come, departmental audit will come, they will harass you like this, anything. वो बोलेगा नहीं आपने इसमें नहीं दिखाया है, now you prove. I hope you know 37, 20, 39, 42, 43, 17, 5, what is there. And now it is not difficult because everything you have to take a credit, even in case of 17.5 also, and then you have to reverse in 3B. So you have that data. Previously, we were facing that challenge till last year because that disclosure was not mandatory. So many people were not taking the credit of 17.5 in the return itself. Correct? Now next is after table 7, 8. उसमें वो क्या रिकंसाइल करने जाता है मुझे आज तक समझा नहीं, बट टेबल 8 में है तो है. वी हैव टू गिव डेटा. तो टेबल 8A में वॉट एवर यू हैव क्लेम्ड इन योर 2B, वो पूरा डेटा उठा के इधर डंप कर देता है. करेक्ट? सो इनवॉइसेस पर्टेनिंग टू प्रीवियस फाइनेंशियल ईयर 23-24 which you have claimed in April 24 to October 24, जो पहले 8A में इंक्लूड होके आता था, अब उसने उसको एक्सक्लूड करके वो डेटा दे रहा है इस साल में. सो 6A2 में जो मेरा डेटा आएगा, यू अंडरस्टूड, दैट डेटा विल मैच नाउ विथ 8A. पहले 6A और 8A मैच हो रहा था, बट उसमें दोनों में 23-24 का डेटा मेरा इंक्लूड था. बट ना 23-24 का डेटा इसमें दोनों में निकाल दिया है उसने. सो अगर मैंने A1 में कुछ डेटा गलत डाला है, देन ऑल्सो आई कैन रिकंसाइल कि हाँ मेरा क्या छूटा है, कि एनी मिस्टेक इज फ्रॉम द डिपार्टमेंट साइड और माई साइड. सो इट इज गुड फॉर मी. Then invoices pertaining to current financial year, that is 24-25, which you have claimed in October 2025, that also will include in 8A. That is what they are claiming. अभी तक हमने उतना चेकिंग नहीं कर पाए हैं. So 8A you know. So table 8 is quite clear. So I am not going into further detail. Then again this year, if you see the last two column, total tax paid and difference between tax paid and payable is now coming up, which was not coming earlier. Previously, whenever you are making any payment, any differential payment भी आप करते थे, तो DRC में आपको 03 में you can't disclose that I am making through a annual return because you have to give the reasons. और जब annual return आप डालते थे तो it mandatorily used to say that you have to pay through a cash. ITC से मुझे पेमेंट नहीं करने देता था. But this year they have amended and now it is allowing if you are making a payment, you are putting a annual return and putting a ITC, then it is allowing you to make the payment. So this is the change what they have made this year. Otherwise what we used to do, we used to say that it is a voluntary payment and then we used to pay from ITC and then give the entire description in DRC 3. But now it is better. Then table 10, 11, 12, 13. What is this? You all know, na? Ki nahi? So any supply is declared through amendment in the year 26 pertaining to 24-25. कुछ क्रेडिट नोट है तो वो 11 में आ जाएगा. 12 में अगेन रिवर्सल ऑफ ITC एंड 13 में कोई नया ITC लिया है आपने 25-26 में टिल अक्टूबर विल कम हियर. आई एम सेइंग अप टू अक्टूबर बिकॉज 30th नवंबर तक आप ले सकते हैं, बट प्रैक्टिकली इट इज कवर पीरियड इन द अक्टूबर वॉट एवर यू क्लेम. Then 14 there is no change. 15 again there is no change and it is optional. I recommend not to give any data which is optional in table 15, as well as table 16 again it is optional not to give any data because कहीं पे भी कुछ mistake होगा unnecessary they will evoke section 74A, now 74A, which says that maybe fraud, misrepresentation, etc., etc. Then table 17, additional Excel sheet is provided on the portal named downloadable table 12 of GSTR 1(1)A. तो जो HSN वाइज समरी मुझे देनी थी वो अब एक्सेल शीट में भी दे रहे हैं. अदरवाइज till previous year we were not getting that Excel sheet. So now it is beneficial. Inward supplies HSN wise data is optional. Late fees etc. optional. Do not go for the same. This already I discussed. Taxable income and fixed asset schedule, asset sale need to be reconciled. Then reconciliation of e-invoices generated and e-way bill generated should also need to be done. It is very important. Then credit note issued beyond the time limit to be reported properly. Table 6, consolidated reporting of net ITC at the time of filing of 3B. Net ITC अपने आप आ ही जा रहा है. Table 8 में whatever precaution you need to take already has been taken care this year, so not required. 17(5) etc. reversal now आपके 2B से automatically आ ही जाएगा because now you have to take credit and then reverse. Then transaction of outward supply 24-25 already I discussed where you have to disclose. The same thing whatever I discussed, where you have to disclose, how you have to disclose. I just summarize in this table. So I hope WIRC will share with you presentation. I have already shared with them. So I am not repeating the same because you all know this. Or you want me to repeat or recap? Here we will take a 5 different scenario as far as my outward supply is concerned. Suppose as far as my GSTR 3B is concerned, my outward supply is 1,01,000, which I have disclosed in 24-25. But out of this, 3,000 supply related to 23-24, which I disclosed in 24-25. So this I need to reduce. And रिवर्स इन रिस्पेक्ट ऑफ 23-24 की सप्लाई का जो मेरा 23-24 में मैंने क्रेडिट नोट इशू किए विथ सप्लाईज पर्टेनिंग टू 23-24 जिसके कि क्रेडिट नोट मैंने 24-25 में इशू किए, करेक्ट. सो विच नीड टू बी एडेड. तो प्लस माइनस करके माई रिपोर्ट माई लाइबिलिटी फॉर द 24-25 एक्चुअल लाइबिलिटी नीड टू बी डिस्क्लोज इज 1 लाख रुपीज. बराबर है. बट 1 में मेरा 1,01,000 गया है बिकॉज ऑफ दिस, करेक्ट. तो 5 डिफरेंट सिनेरियोस. So my outward supply is 1 lakh rupees. टेबल 4 में आई विल डिस्क्लोज 1 लाख रुपीज़. और मैंने कुछ भी प्लस माइनस किया ही नहीं है. 24-25 का कोई भी 25-26 में लायबिलिटी डिस्क्लोज ही नहीं किया है. दिस इज द सिंपल वैनिला, करेक्ट. सो नथिंग विल हैपन. 1,000 मेरे को दिखाएगा कि मैंने ज़्यादा पे कर दिया है, करेक्ट. लेट इट बी, डजंट मेक एनी डिफरेंस. मुझे कोई रिफंड नहीं देने वाला है. मांगने पे नहीं देते, ऐसे तो देने वाले नहीं है. सो लेट इट बी. Another scenario, my actual outward liability is 1,01,000, but मैंने 1 लाख रुपए डिस्क्लोज किया है, करेक्ट. एंड दिस 1,000 आई पेड थ्रू 25-26 में मैंने अक्टूबर तक पे कर दिया. तो देन इट विल गो टू माई टेबल 10. My actual liability, third scenario, my actual liability is 99,000 and I issued a credit note and which I disclosed till October 25. So then it will form part of my table 11. So मेरा मैच हो जाएगा. Fourth scenario, my actual liability is 1,01,000, but I forgot to disclose 1,000 in up to October 25. Then this 1,01,000 I will disclose in table 4 and टेबल 9 में आई विल मेक द पेमेंट ऑफ दिस 1,000. बट टेबल 9 में दिखाएगा नहीं पेबल है. बट अगेन आई रिकमेंड दैट यू शुड मेक अ पेमेंट एंड गिव द डिटेल्स इन DRC 03. अनदर सिनेरियो, माई एक्चुअल लायबिलिटी इज 99,000 बट क्रेडिट नोट इशू ही नहीं किया या इशू किया टिल अक्टूबर तक उसको रिपोर्ट नहीं किया. भले ही मैं 99 यहाँ पे दिखाऊंगा, but I will not get the refund because I have not disclosed the credit note. So this may be the different 5 scenarios possible. RCM already I discussed. Again in respect of ITC, again these 5 different scenarios are possible. So I am not going each table wise because it is on the similar line of outward supply. This is there in my presentation and you can go through it while preparing the same. So this is a presentation as far as 9 is concerned. Then we'll go to 9C. What is 9C? It is the reconciliation statement required to be filed by the SSC having aggregate turnover of 5 crore or more. And it is the, what is the reconciliation? It is the reconciliation between what? Books of account? No, it is not reconciliation between books of account. What is the reconciliation it is? GSTR 9 and it is the reconciliation between the audited financial statement, not books of account, audited financial statement. So we'll come to that. And we all know the history that when it was introduced, as a chartered accountant or as maybe a cost accountant is required to certify 9C. Yes or no? And now it is required to be certified by whom? Not by chartered accountant, only by the SSE. And this reconciliation is prepared to verify the correctness of turnover declared, taxes paid, refund claim and input tax credit availed. This is the reconciliation broadly you have to do as far as this statement is concerned. Before going to table, take an example. Suppose मगनानी जी का प्रोप्राइटरी कंसर्न है, बराबर अशोक सर? वी आर जस्ट टेकिंग एग्जाम्पल, हाँ सर. एंड उसमें टर्नओवर है 8 करोड़ रुपए का, और ये ईमानदार चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट है, कोई कैश का काम ही नहीं करते, न कैश देते हैं न लेते हैं. तो टैक्स ऑडिट होगा या बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट्स का ऑडिट कोई भी लॉ में होगा? नहीं होगा ना. बट 9C तो फाइल करना है, एंड 9C इज द रिकंसिलिएशन बिटवीन ऑडिटेड फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट. सो अब हाउ यू विल स्टार्ट, हाउ ही विल स्टार्ट, बिकॉज वो हमको हायर नहीं करने वाले, ही हिमसेल्फ इज अ गुड चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट, ही विल डू हिमसेल्फ. बट चालू कैसे करेंगे? बिकॉज ऑडिटेड फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट तो है ही नहीं. फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट आर देयर बट इट इज, तो सबसे पहले मेरे पास आएंगे, बोलेंगे सर इसको कोई भी तरीके से ऑडिट तो कर दो. सो यू विल डू अ ऑडिट नॉट अंडर एनी अदर स्टैट्यूट. सो दैट्स व्हाई if you see that table 4 of 9C, are you liable to audit under any act? So you have to give yes or no. So here I will give no in his case, but will do the audit not under any act, but do the audit, and on the basis of that I will start the reconciliation. Clear with this? Again, this reconciliation start with your figure in audited financial statement, turnover. मेरे पास तो मल्टीपल स्टेट है, मल्टीपल GSTN है, correct? In the first, second or third slide, we have seen that I have a 5 GSTN. दिल्ली का नील है, बॉम्बे का कुछ है, किसका कुछ है. मेरा टर्नओवर 4.75 करोड़ है. So I will write here 4.75 crore. So I will give a turnover of the state for which I am going to do the preparing a 9C. Correct na? Delhi mein I will give the nil figure and do the reconciliation. Yes or no? तो फिगर मुझे कहाँ से मिलेगा? कोई भी ऑडिटर ने मुझे GSTN वाइज तो फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट दिया ही नहीं है. आर वी गिविंग? Yes or no? नहीं ना? So what should be the starting point? How you are doing? सर 7 साल से जो कर रहे हैं वही पूछ रहा हूँ मैं, कुछ नया नहीं पूछ रहा हूँ. सही कर रहे हैं, गलत कर रहे हैं, यू कैन शेयर सो वी कैन डिस्कस फर्दर. यस मैडम? मैनुअली करते हैं. हम क्या कर रहे हैं, मैं क्या कर रहा हूँ, सही है कि गलत मुझे भी नहीं पता, आई एम हियर टू डिस्कस. सो आई आस्क द क्लाइंट टू गिव द ट्रायल बैलेंस ऑफ ईच GSTN separately and ask him to do the reconciliation between the trial balance GSTN wise and the consolidated financial statement, not consolidated in that terminology, but the audited financial statement of that PAN. So उसका एक मेरे को रिको दे दो, और GSTN का जो आपने ट्रायल बैलेंस दिया है GSTN का, मुझे उस पर आप सर्टिफाई करके दे दो ये करेक्ट है. And RICO say then I will first do the RICO. If it is matches, then only I will trust on that trial balance and then start doing the same. So do not hesitate to take a certificate, each GSTN wise trial balance from the client before starting or before doing the same. क्योंकि कुछ भी होगा तो अल्टीमेटली क्लाइंट तो अपने को बोलेगा हमको पता नहीं है, हमने तो सब आपको दे दिया. यस और नो? एंड आई थिंक देयर इज नथिंग टू एक्सप्लेन एज फार. यस सर.
वैसा मैं रीज़न भी लिख देता हूँ जो इसके नीचे रीज़न वाला कॉलम है उसमें. तो वेन एवर एनी ऑडिट और नोटिस कम्स दे रेज दैट पॉइंट कि ये एनी अदर में क्या है बताओ हमको. तो हम उनको रिकन्सिलेशन देते हैं, बता देते भाई अदर स्टेट्स का टर्नओवर है, अदर स्टेट्स का 99 से भी दे देते, टैली कर लो मैच हो जाएगा. सो दिस हैज़ बिन वर्किंग. मीन्स दे रेज द क्वेरी वेन एवर देर इज एन ऑडिट और स्क्रूटिनी, बट they are accepting the premise कि you have shown in other states, it's not a problem. मैं नॉर्मली ऊपर का फिगर क्यों रखता हूँ, सो दैट वो डायरेक्ट मैच हो जाए फाइनेंशियल से, एक कोई प्रूफ रहे ऑफ दैट फिगर. अभी आपने जैसे बोला अलग अलग ट्रायल बैलेंस ले लेंगे, सो लेट्स इफ दैट इज डन देन 99C के टाइम पे हमको बैलेंस शीट PNL अपलोड करना होता है, दैट इज़ अ कंपल्सरी पॉइंट. तो डू वी अपलोड द ट्रायल बैलेंस एज वेल, ऑप्शनल तो है वहाँ पे डालने के लिए. दैट विल मेक थिंग्स ईजियर when GST audit comes.
No. So what we are doing is we are giving GSTN wise only figure of that state. Audited financial statement consolidated देते हैं, notes में हम नीचे डाल देते हैं कि this is the reason and etc. Because many times what happen ना, others में आप turnover में बहुत सारी चीज़ें माइनस कर देते हो ना. जैसे अब दिल्ली का एक एग्जांपल लेते हैं, मैं पूरा 4.5 करोड़ रुपया माइनस कर दूंगा अदर्स में जाके. सो अननेसेसरी ऑडिट के टाइम पे या इन्वेस्टिगेशन के टाइम पे, स्पेशली इन केस ऑफ इन्वेस्टिगेशन, उसको समझाना भारी काम है, स्पेशली इन केस ऑफ स्टेट. आई विल नॉट गो फर्दर बिकॉज दे आर रिकॉर्डिंग इट. बट प्रैक्टिकल एक्सपीरियंस यही कहता है कि अदर्स में जितना आप माइनस करोगे उतना बेटर है. एंड आई थिंक दे हैव इशूड वन प्रेस रिलीज ऑल्सो सेइंग दैट यू हैव टू गिव द GSTN वाइज टर्नओवर ओनली इन 5A instead of total figure. But before that it is very important that you keep in your record that certified trial balance which is reconciled with annual financial statement in your record. Otherwise problem है.
Understood.
और क्या है ना सर, सॉरी टू से बट इनकम टैक्स में ऑफिसर्स अंडरस्टैंड डेबिट क्रेडिट PNL बैलेंस शीट, दे रीड एंड दे अंडरस्टैंड. एज ऑफ नाउ माई एक्सपीरियंस इज दे आर नॉट एबल टू अंडरस्टैंड द फाइनेंशियल स्टेटमेंट प्रॉपरली एट लोअर लेवल. अननेसेसरी फिर जाने का आगे कमिश्नर अपील में एंड उनको समझाते बैठना क्या बेटर है कि आई एम जस्ट टेकिंग दिस प्रैक्टिकल व्यू. No, I got your point. सेंट्रल से आए होंगे. वेरी गुड. विच स्टेट? महाराष्ट्र. So you are lucky one. Anyway, so there is no straight jacket formula. We are just sharing our experience, and I am not saying that this is the only way, but what I am sharing is what I am doing. सही है गलत है वो तो जब हाई कोर्ट या सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जाएगा तो पता चलेगा. So let's see. And I think whatever plus minus need to be done, I think everybody is aware about this. So I am not going into this table in detail. Whatever may be unreconciled figures are there, you have to give the reasons. Then here you are giving a reconciliation of total figure. In table 7 you are giving a reconciliation of taxable turnover. Why taxable turnover? Because on that only department has a right to recover the tax. That's why the whole exercise is for this only. And again they have added one more table this year, D1, which says supplies on which tax is to be paid by e-commerce operator as per section 9(5). तो यहाँ पे क्या आ जाएगा? In case of Swiggy, Zomato, उनका जो turnover है, because P&L में तो ये figure नहीं आएगा, but tax में आ गया है. So that's why they are adding this figure here to come to a taxable turnover. Then again reconciliation of tax paid, it is nothing too great to include. Then tax paid में भी they have added others also because different tax rates are there. But इसके अलावा भी बहुत सारी tax rates हैं. बिल्डर के केस में 7.5% का भी tax rate है, correct, which is not there. So in that others you can add that, which was not there earlier. And then supplies on which e-commerce operator is required to pay the tax. तो अलग अलग रेट पे अलग अलग हो सकते हैं, इसके लिए उसका सेपरेट रेट ही इधर इन्होंने दे दिया. Any additional amount payable but not paid, so that also they have included that e-commerce operator point. Then again reconciliation of ITC. Again it is a reconciliation and you all are a chartered accountant, so I can't explain how to reconcile because you know. Table 14, still it is optional. So what to do? Not to give any data in this, because it is not possible to reconcile in this. Why they are not removing, I don't know. Still they have kept this. They realized, but still they have not removed. Any additional liability due to non-reconciliation, again you have to give details in table this. This already I discussed. ITC का use करके भी आप 99C से payment अब कर पाओगे. Verification, again it has to be done by the SSE. Whatever changes they have made, they have issued a FAQ also, and it is very useful. So link I have given in my presentation. Whenever you will get a soft copy, you can click that, and it is available otherwise also on the website of the government, so you can go through it. Some points to be considered whenever you are doing 99C, because now many officers are very smart. जैसे मैंने कहा कि उनको फाइनेंशियल नहीं समझता है, लेकिन on the other side IRS and other officers are so smart, then they can do a ratio analysis also. One officer has raised a point कि आपका टर्नओवर इतना बड़ा बट टैक्स उतना क्यों नहीं भरा. देन वी सेड कि टैक्स रेट कम हुआ है, या जो मेरा पहले प्रोडक्ट का रेशो जो था मिक्स, अर्लियर 80% I was used to sell a 18% वाला, but now 60-40 हो गया है. So all these ratios, it is important that before filing, if you can do and keep in your record, it will be easier for you. Some of the sampling also you have to do, and you have to discuss with the various department of the SSE also, because many barter transactions will not form part of any P&L, any financial, and may not form part of your 1 or 3B also. But barter transactions between related parties are liable for GST, correct? So आपने अभी नहीं किया, 5 साल बाद आएगा तो ITC भी नहीं मिलेगा, कुछ भी नहीं मिलेगा. आपने एक बार इसको कब कर दिया तो then it will be easier, correct? Documentation, reconciliation, any expert opinion they have took. So you should go through it if you are doing that. So whether your views are matching with that or not. If you are not matching, then you can read that flag, but call has to be taken by the management. Any appeal is pending, what is the impact? Still they are going, appeal में जो matter है वो भी continuously इसमें आ रहा है क्या figures उस तरीके के, what is the impact on that? तो SSE and you should be aware about what is the future liability maybe. What are the list of documents required to be maintained by registered taxable person? Inward and outward supply of goods or services of both. Stock of goods. स्टॉक ऑडिट में, कंपनी ऑडिट में क्या लिखते हैं स्टॉक के लिए? व्हाट कमेंट वी आर गिविंग? नहीं, ज़्यादातर में हम वही लिखते हैं, ऐसा वी कैन शेयर दैट, नो इशू, बिकॉज मैं बोलूँगा तो रिकॉर्ड हो जाएगा, आप बोलो कि रिकॉर्ड नहीं होगा. So we have to be very cautious because maintenance of stock record is mandatory as far as GST is concerned. And anything in your audited financial statement, if you said anything against that and actually में stock है, then again the SSE will be in trouble. Correct? GST department may reject accepting that that register also, saying that it was not there at that point of time. So you are prepared now. Clear with this? So very बहुत ध्यान रख के आपको जो नॉर्मल ऑडिट भी कर रहे हो उसमें भी इस चीज़ का ध्यान रखना है कि इट इज़ मैंडेटरी और नॉट. So e-way bill etc. Reconciliation already I discussed, has to be done. Again e-way bill में whatever stock transfers are there, उसका between different GSTN है, बिलिंग होना चाहिए. with different GSTN नहीं है तो बिलिंग का नहीं किया तो भी इशू नहीं है. Then free supply of goods, ITC need to be reversed, you can catch from e-way bill. Then goods sent and sent for job worker but not received within 1 year is your supply. Again you will come to know from e-way bill. Goods taken for demo purposes or maybe on approval basis, 6 महीने में बिलिंग हो जाना चाहिए. तो ये सब supplies you will come to know from e-way bill if you check the pending e-way bills etc. These are some of the things what you need to check. Most important is rule 37, within 180 days ITC reversal हुआ है कि नहीं हुआ है, because department whenever they comes the first thing what they ask is rule 37 only. Rule 42, monthly तो reversal हम करते हैं, yearly recheck करके कर रहे हैं कि नहीं कर रहे हैं, again that is a challenge. So these are some of the checks you have to do. So whatever I discussed today was my opinions or views, and opinions or views are like wristwatches. Every watch shows different time from others, but everyone believes that their time is right. So this is from my side what I want to cover. If you have any issue, we can discuss.
If there is any question, you can ask, you can get advice from Mr. Gadia. So anybody? Yeah, please.
Sir, in case of RCM ITC, you mentioned that if invoice of say 21-22 you paid RCM in current year, you can claim the credit. I just want to clarify whether it will hit by limitations under section
16(4).
16(4).
So department has issued one circular. So RCM ITC दो तरीके का हो सकता है. एक is procuring from registered supplier. In case of registered supplier, you will hit by 16(4). In case of unregistered supplier, what is the duty paying document? Is your tax invoice. All credit you are getting on the basis of tax invoice, section 16(2)(a), you should have a tax invoice. And it should appear in your 2B. These are the conditions to be fulfilled. Yes or no? In case of unregistered supplier, self-invoicing is mandatory. Department and I both presume that आपने अगर टैक्स नहीं भरा है 21-22 का 21-22 में, तो आपने इन्वॉइस ही इशू नहीं किया है, सेल्फ इन्वॉइस. सो नाउ यू आर इशूइंग अ सेल्फ इन्वॉइस, so then it will not hit by 16(4). That what the circular has been issued by the board also to this effect. Mike.
But then in RCM, if you don't pay to the supplier within the say, if you 3 months, you have to pay the RCM on your own, even though you don't make the payment. So in that case, obviously the payment will be made to the supplier. So you have not issued the invoice. You have failed to issue invoice.
So one thing is that you can make the payment to the supplier. There is no issue. But credit आपको कब मिलेगा? If you go to rule 36(2), which specifically says that in case of RCM, you will get the credit once you make the payment. So सबसे पहले 16(4) के लिए मुझे एलिजिबल तो होना पड़ेगा क्रेडिट लेने के लिए. तो मैं क्रेडिट लेने के लिए एलिजिबल ही नहीं हूँ. और 16(4) इज टॉकिंग अबाउट टैक्स इनवॉइस इसके लिए. And since this is a circular issued by board which is in your benefit and circular are binding on the department, so they can't go to the court, and since it is in your benefit you will also not go to the court. Right है कि गलत है कि wrong है, उससे क्या मतलब है? So take the benefit. Simple.
Thank you, sir.
So in most of the cases, in case of RCM, self-invoicing is not done. So
अभी करो. वो आपको करना है.
But RCM has been paid, and ITC credit has been also taken.
कोई बात नहीं, अब तो कर दो. आगे से तो करना शुरू करो. देखो 17, 18, 18, 19, 19, 20 तो आपका ऐसे ही निकल गया, टाइम बार हो गया अब तो. तो उसका तो भूल जाओ, उसके बाद का करके रख दो, देखेंगे. बिल तो है ना.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir. Sir, I have one question related to this Form 9, the new format what they have suggested. So, sir, in this, if you see under table 7J, which says net ITC available for utilization. Okay, sir, can you go to that form? So, sir, here, the formula what they mention is 6O minus 7I. Okay, so 7I is okay. That is, about the reversal. But when we see, 6O is gives you only ITC which is availed during the current financial year. So if any ITC which has been availed for 23-24 till September 24 or October 24, it will give you the difference here, no? And
so you are saying that 24-25 का आपने September 25 में लिया.
Yes.
Yeah, that challenge is there, but it is taken care in your table this.
But
12
sir,
or 13.
Because sir, our concern is because this 7J number goes auto-populate, means it is linked with your 9C table 12E.
But
And
in
it will show as an
reconcili-
access
yeah. But in
available, no, with the
RICO,
books.
once in RICO, you can give that reason, na?
So sir, can you suggest like in which field we should give this reason, or we should show this reconciliation item, because this is a precise point we are struggling actually.
In 9C. Correct, na?
Yes, yes, because otherwise it will show access availment as per compared to the ITC as per the books. Sir, see here 12 is linked with 7J.
Correct. See, 12C, if you see, ITC booked in current financial year to be claimed in subsequent financial year.
Okay.
करेक्ट. तो जो आपने टेबल 13 में फिगर लिया है ऑफ 6,
हाँ.
12C में इधर से माइनस कर देंगे ना, तो मैच हो जाएगा आपका. सी दिस इज टेबल 12 ऑफ 9C.
Yes.
करेक्ट.
Yes.
So it says that ITC availed as per audited financial statement 6A. 6B is talking about the ITC booked in the earlier financial year, claimed in current financial year, and minus जो आपका 24-25 का था, जो आपने 25-26 में क्लेम किया है.
But sir.
बट 24-25 का आपने बुक्स ऑफ अकाउंट में तो 24-25 में ले लिया है.
But sir, there are certain assessees who book this ITC on payment basis, who avail this ITC on payment basis. So if any invoice has been
ओके, तो यू मीन टू से कि मैंने बुक्स में भी क्रेडिट नहीं लिया है और ये क्रेडिट मैंने 25-26 में ही लिया है.
हाँ, yes.
सो यहाँ पे जो रीजन फॉर अनरिकंसाइल्ड है ना, so then it will be unreconciled figure.
Yes.
So there you will say कि बुक्स में भी मैंने नेक्स्ट ईयर में लिया है pertaining to 24-25 और 25-26 का ये फिगर है मेरा. Then it will come in table 13.
Okay.
ठीक है ना, दो पॉसिबिलिटी है आपके केस में.
सर मेरा डाउट ये था कि अपन रूल 42 और 43 का जो एग्रीगेट टर्नओवर निकालते रिवर्सल के लिए, जो एग्जेम्प्ट टर्नओवर में डिविडेंड इनकम इंक्लूड होगा कि नहीं?
डिविडेंड इज नॉट अ सप्लाई एट ऑल.
बट सर अपन कैपिटल गेन मतलब ये सेल ऑफ सिक्योरिटीज तो कंसिडर करते हैं ना, मतलब रूल 42 और 43 के रिवर्सल के लिए. तो
सी दोनों अलग अलग चीज़ें हैं. डिविडेंड विल नॉट फॉर्म पार्ट ऑफ योर 42-43 कैलकुलेशन, and securities will form because specifically that they have included that. Dividend is not security, na?
Okay.
Sir.
Yeah.
So we have issued credit note in March. The same was rejected by the recipient in April month. The effect of which it increased the GST liability in the April GSTR 3B. So how should we report this thing in the GSTR 9, sir?
So it means you have not issued the credit note at all.
We have issued in GSTR 1, we have shown the credit
So
note.
मार्च में आपने कम पेमेंट किया, अप्रैल में आपने ज़्यादा पेमेंट कर दिया.
हाँ, अप्रैल में उसका जो लाइबिलिटी इंक्रीज हो गया है, अप्रैल में वो पेमेंट कर दिया हमने लाइबिलिटी. तो डिफरेंशियल टैक्स पेमेंट जो है उसको हम GSTR 9 में कैसे दिखाएंगे?
9 में मेरे ख्याल से देखो सर, ये इधर आ जाएगा आपका. टेबल 11 में आ जाएगा. और कोई आपके पास रास्ता नहीं है, 10-11 में ही दिखाना पड़ेगा उसको. यस सर, यहाँ पे.
सर मेरा क्वेरी ये है कि अपन जो B2C का जो क्रेडिट नोट रहता है सर, वो अपन GSTR 1 में दिखाने का ऑप्शन है नहीं सर. तो GSTR 9 में अपन कहाँ पे दिखा सकते हैं सर उसको?
So if you see this table ना, 4A. 4A में all B2C large, interstate, intra-state, including through e-commerce operator to be reported as per books of account, and डेबिट नोट क्रेडिट नोट का भी जो है उसको नेट ऑफ करके यहाँ पे दिखाना है मुझे B2C के केस में।
थैंक यू सर।